Thank you for joining us, Gwen Madini.
Thank you for having me. Thank you so much.
So we saw it was Wool's Week.
Yes.
We're looking at the fourth industrial revolution, and one cannot deny the importance of a new phenomenon called digital wools that's now emerged.
Yeah, what's that about?
I'm just wondering, yeah, what exactly is it? How do you even, where do you start with drafting one?
Well, I think everybody's just making a digital will seem like something that it's actually not. It's actually not a will as we would think a will is.
Okay.
It's actually just to say I had Facebook, I had Instagram, and when I die, this is how I want you to handle it, or close my Instagram page when I die, or instead of my pictures, I would like you to give them to my daughter. It's actually because everything is becoming so technological, it's actually not. It's not even like there isn't even a legislation that is handling this digital will or anything like that. It doesn't even, the requirements, it doesn't even have to be like an actual will. The requirements of a will is that you need to sign every page of the will. It needs to be witnessed and all of that. A digital will doesn't have to be like that. It's just to say, I have Facebook, I have Instagram, I have an email and all of that. So it's not like a big thing at all.
And then what would you do? You'd then put your handles and your passwords in there?
Yes, you put your handles, you put your passwords, and then you put an executor. It's important to also inform the executor that this, I'm going to give you this role to play when I die.
Yeah.
And you actually inform them, this is what I need you to do, this is my password, do this with my Facebook, do this with my Instagram, wind it up like this, and, and all of that.
I want to go back to the importance of having a will.
Yes.
In general.
Yeah.
Because I think there's some misconceptions. People think that it's associated with death or it's only for a certain class of people. But what would you say is the importance of having a will, stipulating what you want post your death? I mean, there's a lot that happens, and that actually empowers the people that you leave behind.
Well, first of all, death is going to happen. Whether you like it or not, it's going to come.
Sure.
So it's important that we plan around that, and it's important to have a will because you want to determine where your assets, who's going to be in possession of those assets. You don't want a situation where you die without a will and you die interstate, and then the state ends up making a will for you, because that's what's ultimately going to happen.
Yeah.
Making a will is just being responsible and taking responsibility of your assets and saying, I want to be a responsible citizen, and even when I die, this is who I want to have my assets and stuff like that. And I don't want the state to be in that position. You don't want to put the state in that position of making a will for you, because that's what ends up happening.
And then also, I mean, there's so many unclaimed cases as well that ends up just,
Is there a specific age where you need to have a will?
Well, according to the Wills Act, you can have a will from 16.
Oh, wow.
From the age of 16, but it's preferred that you be a major. Obviously, the majority age is 18, but if you are conscious, you are able to testify in a court at the age of 16, you can definitely have a will, because, I mean, there's some 16-year-olds who already have assets, believe it or not.
Yes, actually, that's true.
Yeah.
So what does happen then? If you can just get into a little more detail. If I don't have a will and unfortunately something goes wrong and I've got assets, I've got cars, I've got a house, what actually is the process from there if you don't have one?
So if you don't have a will, you're going to die interstate, which means the Interstate Succession Act will kick in, which means that it's a legislation, and it determines that if you have a wife and you have children and you have an estate, if ever you don't have a will, then that estate will be divided either equally between the wife and the children.
Okay.
If you are in a situation where you are not, you have, you were not married, you don't have children, then your parents will then inherit. So it's like a guideline. It guides us on what should happen in different instances.
I mean, is it an expensive process? Should people listening now who realize, "Oh, I don't actually have a will, I realize the importance of it, and they actually want to do this. I mean, what's the easiest way to access one, draft one, and is it an expensive process, costly experience?
It's not an expensive process.
Okay.
I'll tell you now, it's easier when you have a will. It's necessary to have a will. And this is why we have the Wills Week. And, you know, during the Wills Week, we are saying, come to us as attorneys. We will draft the will for you. I mean, it's not a requirement. It's not a prerequisite to have an attorney draft a will for you. But it is important to go to an attorney because we understand the act and we know the outline of a will and what needs to be a will and in a will and the structure that needs to be the structure of a will. So it's important to go to you know, an attorney to assist you. And we're saying, come to us, we will assist you, we will draft one for you, give you a copy, keep the original. And in most cases, when an attorney drafts a will, they will become the executor of that estate, which means that when you die, they will be able to wind up the estate on your behalf, which makes it easier because they have the legal knowledge to wind up the estate as opposed to when you just sit at home and you